All right, so our note from back in November was about making sure our upper body does not rotate until after our front foot gets down on the ground. And the original video was this one right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to get it to be able to pause when that front foot does hit the ground. Let me take that back real quick for a quick second just so you can kind of take that in of what your body looked like when we did get into the ground. As we now go on to our new video, we'll do that same thing and pause it when that front foot hits the ground. And to help us see that difference, we'll kind of go back and forth between those two, where we can see the old one, just how much your shoulders were rotated already, and now how much more closed they are. Right? Especially our side view, we can see how much we're almost all the way turned. In the new video, we are much less turned. So we've done a good job getting our body to be, do I still have my marker out? We're doing a good job of being able to keep our shoulders back from wanting to rotate. We're keeping them back better from wanting to come around, right? We've done a big improvement on getting them to go back more, back more, back more. We just got to keep working on it so that way it can get even further back, so that way we can't see this arm. And the way we do that is by the same way we went from front shoulder and glove to them going the same spot, right? So that's the next thing we got to do is get the glove more in, and that's will help keep the front shoulder more in. So we'll watch as we finish this throw here, how, yeah, the glove comes in, but it's coming in from this direction versus more of coming in from, like, say, this direction. It won't be necessarily straight in, but this hard angle is what creates this angle of these shoulders wanting to go that way before we really want them to, making it harder for us to keep it back that way. But all in all, very, very, very good job of making our improvement, which was wanting to get the foot down first, then rotate the upper body. And we'll let you watch this through one more time, getting to see just how much that upper body is rotating by the time that front foot hits the ground in your original video here, compared to how much less that upper body rotates by the time the front foot hits the ground in your new video here. And there's the comparison back and forth. And we'll let that play out for you there. And then we'll get those side by sides so we can see old on the left, new on the right. You can see that front leg's a lot stronger and stable. So we are doing a real good job making our improvements. We want to keep on working on it. And the big thing is going to be keeping this glove from wanting to get so far outside of your body, because that's what opens those shoulders up. So we know we've been working on that firm front side while also wanting to get going to the target early. And what we notice is that in the original video, we're doing a lot of leg up, leg down, tilt back, and we haven't gone anywhere, right? And now we're playing catch up, trying to go forward again. And in our new video, we can see how we are able to get that leg up with good posture, and our body is able to start going towards the target instead of having to lean back, and then start to go forward. We can also see, because of the fact that we didn't have to lean backwards and then go forward, our shoulder to shoulder to elbow to hand is a lot more in that 90-90 positioning versus these shoulders on an upward angle, and this in a 90, but this in a much less than a 90. So because we weren't having to tilt back to try to feel strong, our upper body is in a much better position to throw from, which is going to help us be strong. We can see as we get to release, we are in very similar angles, but what we can notice is the head is a lot more in line versus this head having to yank to the side to try to get that power. And we said you had to yank to the side to get that power because in the beginning we rocked back, making it harder to go forward. So then we had to just rip and pull to try to feel strong. This one we get to go forward all while rotating forward. And then we'll go into then that much better firm front leg, which allows us to rotate around ourselves versus stepping in front of ourselves. So good job on your adjustments there. Keep up the good work so that way they stick with us over the next 3 months before we get outside and it's time for the season. I'll let you watch that one more time. Okay, Shandon, we were talking about working towards a shorter stride for better stability to help us with our power production. And that better stability was in reference to our front leg. And what we're going to notice is that the strides are going to look almost pretty darn close in length. However, the stability aspect of this front leg is going to be improved here in our new video, which is on the right. And we can see that by how much more we're able to rotate through release there, right? Before our shoulders got towards the target, our belt buckle got towards the target, and then through release, they kind of just stayed there, and our arm had to go whipping across our body and stop on its own. And with our new, improved, stronger front leg, we're able to get our foot into the ground, even with that big stride, and not have our weight get sucked into that knee, but able to rotate around that knee. So we are doing a real good job with that. The one thing I will note, I was watching our new video, and I know on this particular pitch we're throwing a change up, but if we just really watch our throwing hand here, and I'll kind of zoom in a bit for you, and just watch your fingers right around here. Our middle finger starts to come off the baseball. All right, it's coming off the baseball right now. I'm going to continue it further and it'll be easier to see, but this is the point in time where as we're loading our scap muscles, as those shoulder blades are pinching together right here, our middle finger is coming off the ball. And right there we can see you're pretty much flicking off the camera, giving us the bird. I'm not sure. And then there's the index finger is also coming off the ball next to it then. I'm not sure if this is something you're doing purposefully. If it is, I would like to hear what your reasoning is for it, because maybe it's something that's making your changeup be super good. But if we've been struggling with our changeup and the command or the consistency in its movement, I would probably point to those fingers coming off the baseball as the number one culprit for those inconsistencies. So we'll have your new videos that are synced up go together here for you so you can see what you look like now. And I'll let you watch that once more. All right, lefty. We're talking about a strong front leg and our arm load. So we got old video on the right, new video on the left. Obviously, it's making you look like a righty, but it's the best way for us to be able to see these comparisons is doing this little butterfly type effect. If we take that back, I want to be able to see how one, this is something that we're not even going to really talk about during the video, but how earlier this delivery had to start compared to this delivery, and yet we're going to release the ball at the same time, meaning our new delivery is a much faster aggressor delivery, which is great to see. And the main reason for that is the leg lift. Right, we can kind of see this one's kicking out just a little bit more, which is going to take just a little bit more time. This one is a nice relax. It's still kicking out a little bit, but it's not a almost extended leg. We got a good amount of bend still in there. And that's what's helping us be a little bit more quicker getting things into release here. That was a bad time to pause it. But if we do pause it here, we can see that we are getting close to that same type of angle as that foot is getting into the ground. But what we will notice is that as we're getting it up there, our body knows what this is. Our body knows I got to get to here, right? Now we just got to find a way to hold it here until this bad boy gets in the ground. And a way that we can hold it here is by having it continue to go back into our scapulars. When we pinch those shoulder blades together, and that takes our arms back behind us, if we can take this arm from this path that's going here, going here, going here, going here, and we get it up here, and now the whole arm works back like the Ben Joyce clip that we use. And I'll pull it up real quick for you just because you're a lefty. Right? So if we could just think about trying to all right, so relatively similar points in time where your front foot's about to hit the ground, when his front foot's about to hit the ground, relatively similar distances, right? Right now, oops, what in the world? That was weird. Right now, relatively similar angles with the arm. But what we're going to notice is as your video continues, this hand is going to end up making its way this way. Ben Joyce's whole arm here is going to work back this way. Right? So he's able to just kind of hold on to that 90-90 that he has. And he's just holding on to it up there. So you've done the hardest part so far, and that's getting it to here versus straight to here. Now we just got to find a way to want to keep it there. And you know the drills that's gotten you to here. Now you can use some of those drills, modify them a little bit, and learn how to go from here and keep it here through the throw like Ben Joyce versus having it get back to the ear. But I'd say 75% of the battle we've already won. And the good news is that this bad boy is getting much better as well, helping us rotate around our front leg versus having to fall in front of that front leg like the old video. So we've pretty much, here's our new video synced up for us with you on the appropriate side. We can say our front leg battle is about 95% won. We just got to keep our mental in it a little bit, so that way the last 5% can continue to grain itself into muscle memory over these next couple months. And that allows us to free up the rest of our mental bandwidth and our mental focus and catch play with finding a way to keep this in this type of positioning. We'll even take this. But once it gets to there, that's going to start impacting our strike percentage, and it's going to start to add a little bit of extra stress onto our arm just to get that bad boy back out and around us on time. And we want to make sure we have a nice, strong, healthy arm all season, so we throw harder and harder and harder as the year goes on, and not the opposite. But all in all, very nice work over these last 2 months. Driving our chest down, what are the odds you wore the same sweatshirt on the same day? Pretty crazy. Good thing we got different hats on. It makes it easier. Blue hat is new. Black hat is old. Okay? We've been talking about driving that chest down so you can get out in front at release. All right. So what we're going to note is in our new video over here, we're going to see that once this foot gets into the ground, our head, like we've been talking about the last week or so, maybe 2 weeks, has been kind of going over towards first base. Obviously, in this perspective here, it'd be third base, but we know this is the actual direction we pitch. But we're going to note that the head is going hard over here in attempts to get the body to go down. All right, so if we go back and let us play that again, when the foot gets into the ground, we're going to see from here to release just how much more in our new video the head is flying over towards first base versus the old one where the eyes were right on the target. And I'm willing to bet that that's because we were trying to get things down and out in front and be more aggressive, but that's just resulting in the head whipping to the side versus what you're actually trying to do, which is get things out in front and down more. We're definitely coming through with more energy. We just need to be able to get all that energy towards that target. And the more that we can keep those eyes open and on target, right? Eyes open. Eyes are open now. Your eyes are open now. Now we're closing them because we're trying to just throw so hard that we're quite literally blind while we throw. By the time we open them, it looks like we're opening them maybe there, or it just could be the shadow going over your eyelids. but we're definitely doing a good portion of this throw without even looking. We are trying so hard to be so strong or aggressive that we are blinded. So let's make sure that we are thinking about that over these next couple months. Is yes, we want to be strong and powerful, but not at the cost of our head whipping to the side, us getting all tight and tense in our mouth, and our eyes closing. Think about breathing through release, staying relaxed through release. That way we can see where we're going. All right. We've been talking about that arm getting loaded up to a strong, safe position. And being that you wear the same thing every single practice, Mr. Consistency, I like it. Old video, it's got the protein shake on it. New video, it's got the bands straight on the sides here. All right, we'll play that again. We'll pause it at a couple points in time. All right, so the foot is in the ground right here, and we say once that front foot gets into the ground, that's the time that our upper body needs to be ready to throw. And we say we want to be looking from our shoulder to our elbow to our hand. And we want that elbow to be in line with those shoulders. And we can see that these two deliveries are almost mere identicals of one another. So as our arm is coming back and this elbow is coming up and this hand is loading up, we need to make sure that the elbow does not then go down to get the hand up. Because now our arm is going to be dragging to come through. And when our arm drags to come through, it puts a lot of unnecessary stress on our arm. So we need to go back and revisit our original video breakdown so you can hear more about what we talked about originally and revisit some of those drills, because when we're playing catch and we're doing the arm out and it's here already and we throw, that's awesome. That's allowing your body to feel what it should feel like to throw. But what we're seeing is your body doesn't know how to get it there yet. So we got to start those drills further back in time. We got to start those drills from like our arm down here. And then we got to have our feet kind of wide. Obviously, both feet are going to be in the ground. But our feet would be about this wide. Arms would be in this exact position. We would do a little step, and then we'd get just a little step, and then we get the arm to about here. And then we do another little step, and then we get the arm to that 90-90, and then we would make sure that it's here, higher up. That way we got a safe, healthy arm to use all season. And here's the new clips synced up. All right, Nico. Old on the right, new on the left. Got Crips and Bloods. Okay, so if we pause each of these at the top of the leg lifts, we can see how those are looking. Much better in our new video of not feeling like we have to get the arms out of the way for the leg lift, but the leg can just go in between the arms. We then pause it at that moment that front foot gets into the ground. And then we continue that to release and through release. If we look back at our note, which was thinking about keeping our front leg closed as long as possible, what we have been talking about the last couple of weeks, specifically with the leg lift, was making sure that we don't necessarily want the foot to go further back towards second than the knee. And when it does that, that kind of forces the foot to swing back out quickly. And when the foot swings back out quickly, it opens up. And if our front leg opens up early, that's allowing some of our energy and power to no longer be stored in our back leg. And if we're looking to make our next big jump in velocity, this leg is where it's going to be at. Keeping the foot, instead of it being opened, keeping the front foot closed. Thinking Thinking as my, right now I have my heel in front of my toes. I have my leg in this type of arrangement. The longer you can keep, now it's in this arrangement, right? The longer you can lead the way down the mound with your heel and not your toe, the longer your front leg will stay closed. Your toe is leading the way. The 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 toe is leading the way. We're neutral. So as soon as the leg starts to go down, the toe is leading the way, which means it's opening, which means some of our stored up power is leaving us. If we want to throw as hard as possible at the end, we need to have as much of that stored up power still left at the end so we can use it all with the throw. Right? And if we start to lose some of that power early because that front leg's gone, then that gas tank at the end that we're loading up is only this full to then make that throw. And that's just not as powerful as if we could fill it all to the top with power and then throw. So if we're looking for that next velo jump, that's where it's at. We got our new video synced up. We're doing a lot better job with our finish as well. I didn't mention that earlier, but in terms of the back hip, back leg, being able to continue to rotate around, we've been a lot better at these last handful of weeks. So keep that good work up as we continue to work on keeping that front leg, front foot closed as that front leg, front foot goes down the mound. All right, we're talking about the elbow hike. Obviously, the new videos on the left with the red, old videos, the Michigan and the yellow. where I was superimposed on the video. We will pause this a couple times along the route so you can see how much progression you've made and what this new path looks like. As we go back and forth through that window of hand separation, we can see that our arm is in a much better, healthier, stronger, consistent position to throw from. So good job working through all those adjustments and drills to repattern this arm. And now that it is in a stronger, healthier position to throw from, we will want to work on next thinking about being a little taller as we go through our delivery. And what I mean by that is this back knee collapses inwards very quickly, and this front foot reaches out with an opened toe quickly. If we can think about being stronger or a little taller, meaning this knee just a little bit back more for longer, when it is actual time to go forward, which is at this moment in time right now, we would be able to go forward with a knee that's loaded like back here somewhere. So that way we have all of that rotation versus that rotation. And that will help us not feel like we have to reach with this back leg to get our power behind our throw, but it's through our rotation, and our rotation that's powering the throw. Now that the arm is in a good, strong, healthy position to throw from, providing it with more power is going to be something that's safely achievable. So we're thinking about keeping the back knee back for a little bit longer, and definitely thinking about keeping the front foot closed longer as the front leg goes down the mound. Thinking as my leg goes down and out, as my leg is reaching out towards the target, I don't want my toe leading the way. I need to flip that and have my toe backwards and have my heel leading the way. That's going to provide us with more stored up power and be able to throw with more power. For whatever reason, we weren't leg lifting every single time. And on the particular pitch that I recorded your side video on was one of those that you did not do a leg lift. So we don't really know if we're doing better on getting that earlier momentum to the target based on that comparison there. So just working off of your front view and side view synced up of our newest version, this is what we have to work with. So let's just remember each and every time we're up on this mound, unless I'm saying, hey, we want to slide step, and this isn't really even, I guess we could consider that a slide step. Let's make sure we're doing full leg lifts each and every time.